That fine polka music on a frosty Saturday morning in April. Boy, I tell you talk about weather swings. We've certainly had them this year. All week it was really nice. Yesterday it got up to 80 degrees. I believe people were sweating. And now what do we have? We had 40 degrees. We had some thunderstorms and some cool fresh air come through last night. But anyway, weather for the next few days in Chicago will be typical spring. A few showers, temperatures around high 50s, mid 60s. Not too bad. And so if you're going out to play, it'll be just fine. All right, let's talk about what we've got for a show today. First of all, I want to say good morning to my engineer-producer, Nip Schikowski. Nick, what are you doing today? Are you there? Maybe not. Okay, are we on the air?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
John just called, so I was talking to him.
Oh, okay. Our first guest. We're going to have an interesting show today, as we always do. We got a lot of compliments on our show last week. Let me just stick this in. And thanks to everybody that took time to write or let us know in some fashion how much you enjoyed last week's show with Gary Van Sickle and Frank Thomas, former technical director of the United States Golf Association. If you didn't get to hear that show, all is not lost. You can go to the Score website at 670thescore.com and download a podcast, as you'll be able to do with this show today. So if you have like a 7 o'clock tee time and you're on the way to the golf course, you don't have to miss the second half of the show. You can download it from the Score website. We also have a link at chicagolandgolf.com, and you can listen to the show at your leisure. And you could save a copy, You listen to it every day, all week. Memorize it. All right, let's get into our first guest. Got some unusual economic times, depending on who you use as a source. But I think it's no secret that golf course owners have been struggling, not only here in the Chicago area, but around the country. And so I wanted to bring in someone who has basically a lifetime experience in running a golf operation, and it's a family. On the line with us is John Coghill, an old friend from Silver Lake. Yes, you recognize the name Coghill. His relatives, well, not 100 years, but 85 years ago, started Coghill in Lamont. They sold it, and John's, was that your great-grandfather, John, that bought Silver Lake and then Euclid Hills?
Let's see, it was, morning, Phil, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
Good. It was my grandfather and his two brothers founded Coghill, and then my grandfather, separate from his two brothers, went and bought Silver Lake and Euclid Hills. There were two adjacent golf courses that were bankrupt. He bought them in 1939, and the price for the two courses combined was $64,000. And the coupon special for golf in that year was 2 rounds of golf for 75 cents.
Wow.
So those were tough times. We have tough times now. But in either case, it was a great time to be a golfer. Great selection, a lot of golf courses. They're not busy, and relatively inexpensive way to spend 5 or 6 hours. And it's not far away from your home. You don't have to spend much gas. So it's a great time to be a golfer. It's a little difficult for an operator.
Okay, what are some of the things that you and let's mention your brother Bert and the gratuitous reference bell. Let's mention Bert too, because you guys operate Silver Lake. It's a pretty good tag team operation. The two brothers running the business that's been in the family since 1939. What do you anticipate for the year 2008? I mean, here we are in April, and nobody really knows what's going to happen. But what are you anticipating?
Well, let's see. Actually, the rounds of golf in the aggregate in the Chicagoland area and across the nation and in countries like England have actually been declining. So there's a waning interest in golf, and the boom is behind us right now. So golf courses are going to have to work harder to attract people, give them an extra reason to come. And I think a lot of golf courses, if they think about it, will try to add another reason to come other than just to golf, and that would be a social network. And it could be a club within the club offering competitions and a way to meet people in your area, to make friends in the area. And so that's one thing I think golf courses are going to have to do. And another thing is maybe you have to take a look at some maintenance items. You know, back in the 50s when golf was really in the pits, golf courses were designed without a single sand trap deliberately because they're highly intensive maintenance items. And sand trap is something that has to be attended to every single day. And it's one of the items that has to be attended to every single day. A fairway could be mowed every other day. A rough could be mowed maybe twice a week. And greens could be mowed maybe 5 days out of 7. But a sand trap, you've almost got to tend to the thing every single day. So we're going to have to take a look at the way golf courses are designed and try to make them easier, less expensive to maintain. And as far as marketing efforts, I think we're going to have to just continue our effort to develop new golfers with group lessons and put more pressure on our pro to give more group lessons, bring more people into golf, and then right after they're finished with their lessons, develop a way to keep these people golfing after they have learned how to golf. And so that's about it, Phil. That's kind of our strategy for the year, and it has been our strategy for a number of years. But it's not something. It's just a great time to be a golfer. That's the one thing I have to stress. Golf courses are not as crowded. The pace of play is improved dramatically. It's relatively inexpensive. You can spend anywhere from $25 to $125. Just pick your price. And there's not a great deal of difference in the experience between the two ranges. It's just a matter of how you want to treat yourself and what economic level you think that you belong in. And it's a great time to be a golfer.
If you've just joined us, on the phone with us is an old friend, John Coghill, one of the co-owners at Silver Lake Country Club in Orland Park. 45 holes and no long waits most of the time, I would think. And they really have a golf course to suit whatever you'd like to do that day. I think, John, your 9-hole course is one of the most interesting little short nines in the Chicago area, and I think our readers have agreed with that in our readers poll a couple times.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. It's a terrific place to. That's part of our strategy is draw people into golf through lessons, and then have a course where a person that's a beginner can play and feel comfortable, and then another course they can move up to, and it's worked quite well for us.
Okay, it's no secret that green fees have been climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. Now let's try to figure out why. Public golf was totally different than golf at a private club. There was a huge difference. There isn't that much difference today. In fact, we have some public courses in Chicago that are better than probably a third of the private clubs, if not more. I don't want to go into that, but yes. You can't tell anymore when you drive in the gate whether it's a private club or if it's a public course. Back when we had the golf boom starting about 1988, 89, 90, 91, all of the new courses, John, that were being built in the Chicago area, they all decided, or most of them decided to go with bent grass fairways, which is much more expensive to install, to maintain, but it was desirable. And maybe that reflected a $5 or $6 increase just by itself in the green fee on average. Golfers were willing to pay for that to get the lies that sit up perfectly like they get at a country club. And let's face it, back in the 1980s, not a lot of public golfers ever even had a chance to play a private club to see what those kind of conditions are like. Now, another factor to all this is television, color television, and the Masters. We look at that golf course and we see absolutely perfect, lush green conditions. And golfers somehow Well, the first thing that started, I believe, was with the private clubs. They all saw what Augusta National looked like, and, of course, being proud of the club they belonged to, a lot of the members said, hey, we are willing to spend the money. What can we do to get our golf course to look that good? And so you had this upgrade across the board. It took a little while longer to get to the public courses, but you had an upgrade in conditions where everything's got to be watered and green and perfect looking. Now, John, though, doesn't it kind of come back to haunt us? Because those are some of the things that have increased the price of the green fee, and when you've switched over to bent grass fairways, you're kind of stuck with those, aren't you?
Yeah, you absolutely are, Phil. And part of that movement was natural. You know, any type of activity, a human is going to try to refine and make nicer. And it's another natural part of a competitive environment. You're always trying to be nicer than the next guy, and it was just a competitive edge. And before long, things like that become the standard. And while we were in a boom, all this could be afforded. People were willing to spend, $400 or $500 for a driver. That's kind of a sign of a boom mentality to begin with.
You think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, you're right. Things have come back to haunt us. There's a declining interest. The golf courses all have to become more aggressive price-wise. And there's a lot of golf courses that are not even breaking even on a cash flow basis. By that I mean their expenses for that one particular year are not being met by the revenues they derive in that one particular year, to say nothing of any debt service they have. So those operators are subsidizing the enjoyment of golf for their golfers, which, they can't do very long, but they'll do it for a certain period of time. And some of those organizations that are doing that are governmental bodies. So you'll have a village that will have hopped on the bandwagon and build a beautiful golf course during the boom time, and all of a sudden they'll realize 10% of their play in their golf course is from their hometown village. The other 90% are people that live outside the village, and they're losing money. So they're throwing a party for people that don't live in their particular area. And so the natural, when you follow that idea to the end, they have to decide whether they're going to continue to support the activities of people that live outside their area, or they're going to shut the thing down. And we've seen, 3 courses owned by municipal organizations shut down this past year. Is that right, Phil?
Yeah, I think so. John, let me take a break. Our guest on this portion of the show is John Coghill. He's one of the co-owners of a long-time family operation at Silver Lake Country Club, 45 holes. And John's got a pretty good handle on the golf business, as do most of my golf course owners. But, John, they run this as a family business. When we come back, John, after a few spots here, I'm going to give you a little time to think about this one because I don't want to drop it on you. How has the advent, the emergence of so many municipally owned golf courses, which, by the way, aren't on the real estate tax rolls, so they don't derive any real estate taxes from those 140, 160 acres, how have those affected privately owned public courses like Silver Lake? We're going to take a break at 6:14. I'm Phil Kosin. This is the Chicagoland Golf Show, and you're listening to The Score, Sports Radio 670.
The Score with
welcome back in to the Chicagoland Golf Show on kind of a chilly, relatively speaking, Saturday morning. It was about 40 degrees when I got up this morning. And if you've got a tee time, if I haven't told you, I'll tell you again. 6:22 on the old clockaroonie. And on the phone with us is an old friend. His family has been in the golf business for eons, going all the way back to when his relatives started Cog Hill out in Lamont back in the 1920s, mid-1920s. And then now the Cog Hill family owns Silver Lake Country Club in Orland Park. John, thank you for your candor this morning. What are the difficulties? I think one of the things of course we went overboard during the 1990s and we overbuilt. It's too bad we don't have golf police that would give you a license and say, okay, you guys can build a golf course because it won't It won't change the business that much, but everybody built, and now we're seeing that contraction in Chicago because we have too many golf courses. But what are the problems? I mean, you're in Cook County, high real estate taxes. You're a privately owned public course, yet maybe somewhere down the street is a muni that is offering an experience to play golf, and they're $10 cheaper than you, and that's because the real estate taxes aren't being collected on that municipal golf course's property. How do you feel about that? And do you think maybe there should be some sort of a tax break for a golf course in your situation because you're maintaining valuable open space?
Well, those are good points, Phil. The municipal golf courses, you could look at it two ways: an oversupply of golf courses, or maybe there's an undersupply of golfers. Maybe the golf courses that came online, which were mainly municipal courses during the 90s, didn't make the effort that they should have made in developing their own customers. They came online, and golfers would flock to them right away because it's a new course. It's a great idea, a new golf course. Everybody likes something new. And they said, wow, what a great business this is. All you have to do is just stand here and operate the cash register. It's just terrific. Well, after everybody's played the course once or twice, they're kind of in amongst everybody else again, and their play drops. Well, at that point, and during the point they were in the boom, they should have been developing new golfers. At Silver Lake, at the Gemstick courses, we spend a lot of time and energy, thanks, Phil, a lot of time and energy developing new golfers, because we know that we hope to be around another 70 years doing the very same thing. But the municipal golf courses, some of them lease their operation out to different national golf course operators. And many of them are very, very good. And most of them are very good. It's just that they don't really have a long-term point of view. They may have a 4-year contract, a 3-year contract, or something like that. So their focus is on this narrow band of time that they have the contract for. And there may not be the incentive in there for them to develop new golfers. Because really, developing new golfers is something that costs you. It's not something that stands on its own. It's subsidized by the golfers that are actually golfing. It costs us money to have a lesson program to develop new golfers. So it's hard-pressed for someone that's operating on a short contract period of time to see the benefit of developing golfers for somebody, the next contractor down the road, or developing golfers for neighboring golf courses.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I had my choice this year, John, whether to be a golf course owner or own an equipment company, I'd take the golf course in a heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the drum beats that I'm getting from a lot of places right now, let's face it, there really hasn't been anything earth-shattering on the equipment front in the last 3, 4, maybe 5 years. It's all cosmetic. Guys will replace things as they wear out. That's pretty much it. Now, in order to get us to buy something and spend our money, because they're up against the line in the sand with the drivers and the balls, now they've come up with this a very expensive system of switching out heads with shafts and everything. And the interesting part is nobody's buying it because it's expensive. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe one thing that in talking about expenses that golfers are enduring right now, I think at least at Silver Lake, and you and like at Cog Hill, you guys are surrounded by humanity and by golfers. And I think one thing that you'd have to smile at, it's kind of a good news, bad news thing, is the gasoline prices. Because those golf courses on the periphery of the Chicago area where you need to drive a half hour and 45 minutes to go play them, a lot of people may think twice about spending that kind of money on gasoline at $4 a gallon to go out to those courses. So maybe one of the bright aspects of this whole thing is that people are going to stay home this summer. And I would advocate to any golfer, instead of taking a vacation out of town, why not play some of the courses in Chicago you've never played instead of going to Disney and paying $200 to play a golf course that's probably worth $75?
Yeah, right, Phil. That's the way I feel too. But on the other side of the coin, we may see a situation where people's disposable income in general is cut to the point that they may not be golfing at all. they may have to find something that doesn't cost them anything to do. If you're putting $80 in your SUV every week, that kind of changes your point of view on almost everything. So,
well, I'm glad I don't own a Starbucks either.
yeah, they've got their problems too. So anyway, we're looking forward to having a good year, and as I said, the problem I think is an undersupply of golfers. And if every golf course were to get in the bandwagon and understand that they have to spend money to develop golfers, to develop future golfers for themselves and their neighboring golf courses, we're all in it together. We're not going to get by just taking golfers from one another. We have to have a new supply of golfers. We have to give them something to do after they learn how to golf that keeps them golfing and gives them a chance to have a wider social network of fellow golfers.
John Coghill, I'll give you the last 15 seconds to do a commercial for Silver Lake Country Club in Orland Park.
Well, I just like to see people playing golf. I don't really care that much where they play golf. I know they're going to play golf at Silver Lake once in a while. I just say it's a great time to golf. Get out and golf. Courses are uncrowded. Prices are actually reasonable, and you can play in a reasonable amount of time. So have a great summer, golfers.
What's the phone number there if they'd like to make a tee time, John?
Well, it's 708-349-6940, extension 4, or silverlakecc.com. And thanks, Phil. I appreciate the opportunity to have a chance to talk to your people.
John Coghill, you did a great job. We'll catch you down the line.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, that's John Coghill, one of the co-owners of Silver Lake, giving you an idea of what the golf course owners in Chicago and nationally are going to be facing this summer. I mean, you're not the only one that's going to have some problems. And maybe we can find some solutions. It's 6:29 in Chicago. I'm Phil Kosin. This is the Chicagoland Golf Show. This is CBS Radio in Chicago, and you're listening to 670 The Score. 6:35 in Chicago, the Chicagoland Golf Show. And this segment is brought to you by the Highlands of Elgin. Golf at the highlandsofElgin.com, a great place to play. Okay, this is 2008. That's not a revelation, but the reason I bring that up is because we don't really have a big-time golf event in Chicago this year. Yes, coming up at the end of next month, we've got the Nationwide Tour and the Bank of America Open, but there's no BMW Championship here this year. There's no major here this year. However, and really, if you want to see the top players in the world, unfortunately, because of the way the PGA Tour does things and the way they've set it up for their players, you're not going to see a lot of the big names either at Milwaukee or Quad Cities, those two tournaments coming before and after the British Open. However, if you want to see the biggest names in golf playing in a major championship this year, all you got to do is drive to Detroit. Now on the phone with us right now is the championship director of the PGA of America, Ryan Cannon, who's trying to pull everything together so that they have a great PGA championship this August at Oakland Hills. Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Phil, I'm good. It's a early Saturday morning, and I'm here in my office, and it's not freezing cold outside, so that means that you're right. We're getting close to the championship and couldn't be more excited. But thanks for having me on this morning. I'm glad to be here.
Sure. I just wanted to bring in an alternative for Chicago golfers if they have an urge to see Tiger Woods. I think he'll show up for your event. Ernie Els, Phil Mickelson, Trevor Immelman, all the big names in golf. And traditionally, the PGA Championship, the one that's going to be at Oakland Hills this year, you guys have the strongest field in golf.
That's right. As one of the four major championships, we have 156 of the best players in the world playing on one of the best golf courses in the world when it matters the most. So they're all going to be here playing the South Course at Oakland Hills, which is no stranger to these major events. It's one of the best golf courses in the United States. It just recently underwent a major renovation to make it even longer and more challenging. And you know, I've been to more golf events than I can remember at this point. And as a golf fan, I cannot wait to watch these guys get out here on this golf course and see what they can do. It's going to be tremendously exciting, and like you said earlier, it's a great option for golf fans in Chicago because we're just a few short hours away. Hop on I-94, and you'll be here before you know it.
Oakland Hills, it's got quite a pedigree. I mean, it's no stranger to major championships. The last Ryder Cup I went to was there. It was designed by Donald Ross, who I doubt we're going to find any fault with his work anywhere. And then I think 1951 U.S. Open, Robert Trent Jones.
That's
the father of Reese Jones, who is doing the tweaking, just finished doing the tweaking at Oakland Hills, and is currently tweaking Dubs Dread at Cog Hill. He came in and redid the golf course, and now his son has come in. And what are some of the changes that he made? I would guess that a lot of them have to do with updating the course to handle today's equipment.
Yeah, that is a lot of the changes were made. It's a really interesting story just with Reese and his father and how his father updated the course prior to the 51 Open. And that during that event, that's the time when Hogan came in and shot a great final round and actually coined the term the monster for the South Course. And at the time, it was widely regarded as one of the most difficult tests of golf in the world. And with the changes in equipment and these guys, the best players in the world, getting in better and better condition and their ability to strike a golf ball, Oakland Hills felt like they wanted to make sure that the South Course remained one of the strongest tests in golf for however many years into the future that these guys are going to continue to hit it further and further. So they brought in Reese Jones. Reese Jones has said publicly that this was one of the calls that he'd been waiting his whole career for, was to come back and redo Oakland Hills. But he added 15 new tee boxes, nearly 30 new bunkers, narrowed all the fairways down to 22 to 30 yards wide, deepened a lot of the greenside bunkers. And other than that, it's about the same. But they didn't reroute any holes, but they did make it longer and more challenging. They didn't touch. Thankfully, he didn't touch any of the greens themselves. The collection of greens here are, they're one of the best in the world. There's a lot of slopes to them, great hole locations. And it will continue, I think, to challenge the best players in the world for many years to come.
I've been lucky enough to play it probably a half dozen times, and, as a course reviewer for Golf Digest and for my own publication, it's one of those courses. And I can't say this about every course that I've played that's hosted a major, but Oakland Hills is one of those courses that has that intangible. When you walk off the course, or even while you're playing it, I always say this course has the feel of a major. You really can't put your finger on what it is. It's just kind of the overall experience, the ambiance, the way things are put together and laid out. But Oakland Hills certainly has the feel of a major.
It's got that presence. You feel it on the first tee. When you walk up there, you're walking towards the first tee. You have this beautiful, white, huge, just classic clubhouse behind you. You walk right past a wall where they have all the champions that have won on this golf course, from Hogan. Nicklaus won a Senior Open here. Palmer won the Senior Open here. There's the Ryder Cup. I've played it several times over the last number of years, and I still get those butterflies in my stomach when you walk up on that tee, because you start to think about all that history. And it's hard to really put your finger on it, but it just has a presence and a life. It's been around since 1916, 92 years old at this point, and the history just it bleeds through the grounds here. And you put 156 of the best players in the world, as they have numerous times here, and it's a special event all the way around.
Yeah, I'll never forget it because, in fact, I may never even want to play it again, because the last time I played there, I birdied the 18th hole, and I just want to always have that memory of the golf course.
Walk out, I've been playing golf since I was a little kid, and feel fortunate that I've been able to work in the golf business in this capacity, but considered myself a fairly decent golfer, and the first time I played Oakland Hills was about 6 years ago, and I hadn't had a 4-putt in probably 10 years. And the very first time I played the first hole, I 4-putted it, and I said, well, here we go. Welcome to Oakland Hills. And that's how it goes out here. But it creates a lot of unique challenges, and, it's a lot of fun, and it keeps you coming back. But if you birdied that 18th hole, that's a pretty strong birdie. So I could see where you wanted to save that memory for a lifetime.
Well, I mean, Ryan, I was really a total jerk about the whole thing. I had Len Ziem from the Chicago Sun-Times and Chicagoland Golf was with me, and all the way, we drove there, obviously, and all the way home, about every 5 minutes, I kept looking at him, and out of the clear blue, I go, hey, did I ever tell you I birdied the 18th hole at Oakland Hills? And it got to the point where he's ready to throw me out of the car. It's 6:43 in Chicago. On the phone with us for a few more minutes, Ryan Cannon, the championship director at Oakland Hills for this August's PGA Championship. And we'll have Ryan on again during the heat of the season. But I want you to outline what the ticket plans are for our listeners. So if they want to go see the big names in golf this summer, and obviously we don't have the BMW Championship here in Chicago, they can go over to Detroit. So how do we get that done?
Well, we got a number of different options that are out there. We've been on sale since the fall of last year. So while we do have a number of options, as we're now 2 majors away from being up next, they're going fast. And we've got ticket prices that range from $30 all the way up to $700, depending on what level of access you'd like, how many days you'd like to attend. But the best way to go about finding out more information or looking at those options is going to be at our website, which is PGA2008.com. Or you can call our 800 number, which is 1-800-PGA-GOLF. Also on the website, you'll see some more information on the course changes and some of the other relevant information to the championship itself. You can look into, there's links to accommodations through the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau. And really, it's the one stop to go check it out, find out how to buy your tickets, find out where to stay if you're coming over from Chicago. I think it's, again, a great option. I know there's a ton of golf fans in Chicago. The PGA Championship's been there a couple times out of Medina. So we understand that Chicago golf fans are extremely enthusiastic about the game, and it's unfortunate that they don't have that professional event there to see the biggest names this year. But, come on over here for 4 hours down I-94 and get a hotel room, check out southeastern Michigan and Oakland Hills for the PGA Championship. So,
Ryan, I've had a couple people ask me, we got about a minute left, so we'll try to make this quick, but I've had a couple people call and ask me. They went to the website and off of a Jack Berry recommendation, I guess, and they said they're telling us that the season grounds ticket, $350 for the week, is the only way you can get in to see any of the tournament rounds proper. Are there going to be individual tickets released at some point?
At this time, the answer to that question is no, but I would recommend people check back often for updates. Ticket sales so far have been great. We're moving forward. We definitely recommend that, you can't take it all in one day. Attending a major championship, especially here, if you want to get the most out of it, it's at least a 2 or 3 day affair. And we set up the championship in that regard, that every day you come out here, you're going to have something to see because you got 156 players playing this golf course. There's no way you're going to see all that in one day. There's multiple spectator amenities. We've got the PGA Learning Center on site where you can stop in and get a free lesson from a PGA member. There's a history exhibit. There's a merchandise tent. You got the driving range. So at this time, yes, the season grounds ticket is the only way to get into one of the championship rounds. But we feel it's a very reasonable value proposition. You can attend the championship for what amounts to $50 a day. Okay. But I'd say keep checking back. You never know, depending on how ticket sales go. We'll see where that all shakes out. But for right now, those season grounds tickets, there's not actually a whole lot of them left. So folks should check it out now. And if they're interested in attending, hopefully they'll come see us.
Okay. I appreciate your time this morning. Ryan Cannon, good luck, and we'll talk to you during this. In fact, why don't you give me a call if you guys do decide to open up some individual daily tickets?
Oh, I'm sure we will. If that becomes the case, and I'm sure we'll certainly get the word out and go from there. But Phil, I'll give you a call anyway, and we'll just talk about golf because I like talking to you about golf.
Well, yeah, I'd rather play, but it's like fishermen. Fishermen spread their arms and they say, well, I had one that got away this long, and then golfers show this is the one that I missed. So, Ryan, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you down the line.
My pleasure. Thank you, Phil. Take care.
All right, we'll take a break at 6:48 in Chicago. This is the Chicagoland Golf Show. I'm Phil Kosin. You're listening to The Score, Sports Radio 670. 6:53 on a Saturday morning. You might need a wind shirt today. Might want to throw something that will shed water. You might want to throw one of those in your bag today, too, just in case there's I guess we have a 20% chance of a shower today. Greens should be nice and soft. We got a pretty good soak last night in the Chicago area. That was an interesting interview with Ryan Cannon. And obviously, it shows us that they're doing things differently up at Oakland Hills. It's pretty much what the membership wants. And I don't think the membership at Medina Country Club gets the credit that got the credit that they so richly deserve for the way they set up tickets from the get-go for the 2006 PGA Championship at Medina. Not only did they sell the packages, but they sold individual day tickets for the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday rounds. In fact, they didn't have a cutoff point. There was no limit. And that's the way the members wanted it. If you decided Sunday morning Tiger Woods is in the lead, Luke Donald's right there with him, I'm going to go there and I'm going to walk 18 holes, you could get in. And I don't think you're going to be able to do that at Oakland Hills. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing, but if I had my druthers, I would like to see it done. And, maybe at Oakland Hills they have a completely different set of logistics. I don't think they have the same amount of parking. And they may not have the same amount of space. They don't certainly Medina's got 2 extra golf courses where they could put a lot of corporate hospitality. And you could put a lot of people, a lot of fans in those corporate hospitality tents. In fact, there are people, I don't know if you realize it, but there are people that go to a major championship that never even leave those things. Their leg is soldered to the lower rail on the bar that they have in those things. They've got big screen, high-definition TVs. It's air-conditioned. They never even make it out onto the golf course. So, all right, coming up in the second hour, we're going to have fun today. We have got an all-time great, a long-time regular on this show going back 15 years, golf professional Emil Esposito. It's 6:56 in Chicago. This is the Chicagoland Golf Show. I'm Phil Kosin. This is CBS Radio in Chicago, The Score, Sports Radio 670.
Let's get back to Phil Kosin and Chicagoland Golf on 670 The Score.
This segment is brought to you by the DQ Hot Dog of the Week. Win a Dairy Queen gift card. Log on to 670thescore.com for the DQ Hot Dog of the Week contest information. It's 7:01 in Chicago, and we've got a great guest. He is the star of the golf video, Making Golf Fun Not Work. He is one of the most likable people. Shut up. He's one of the most likable people in the entire Midwest and Las Vegas. Our favorite teaching pro, Emil Esposito.
Good morning, Phil.
And let me add that there isn't an Italian restaurant of high quality in Chicago or Vegas that he hasn't had his body in.
That's right. That's the best food around, pal. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm outstanding, really. It's I'm looking forward to the 2008 season.
I know. I think it's great for 2 reasons. Number one, I got to move back to Saturdays, which I think is a better day.
Yeah.
And number 2, they're doing the podcast to the show, so people can go to their computer and download the show.
It's amazing.
And listen to it, even if they don't get to listen to it live on the air.
It's just amazing the way everything's, all the new inventions coming out. It just blows my mind. It's crazy. But it's good. I'm glad to see you're back on Saturdays.
Yeah, I like it. I think Saturdays are better for both me and the listeners. Now, let's talk a little bit about golf equipment.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that are saying, well, we can custom fit you. I'm not exactly sure what that means, so why don't you tell us?
Well, it's changed so much, Phil, from my era. I mean, my era, we used to set up people and take them out of the driving range and watch them swing a little bit and figure out if they needed a stiff shaft or a regular shaft, and then we'd take them inside, and it was funny the way we set them up, and we'd put them on let them stand up, put a club in their hand, and take a business card and have them grip the club and put a business card and slide it underneath the head and see how far the business card would go. And if it would go to the center, that would be the regular. If you'd go all the way back to the hosel, you know that they need the clubs 2 degrees flat. Nowadays, they've got such fitting systems that, you take them, they're measuring the grip, they're measuring their finger size, the grip, the length of their arms, and that. And it's now they're coming out with you can take shafts and unscrew them and screw them into the heads, and it's just amazing that the stuff that they got out. What's going to happen eventually? You're probably going to have a set of half-inch longer shafts and a regular set stiff shaft, and then you can whatever you feel that day, you can just screw them into the heads and go play. So it's making a big difference. I don't know. I still believe to a point it's probably the old school thought. If you don't have a swing, it doesn't matter what you're going to hit. So you have to. But the new fitting systems are. I'm not really into that because I'm doing a lot of teaching. I don't get into fitting the clubs, and I'm just from the old school. I can kind of tell, what by watching them swing, what shaft they're looking to get into. That fits their swing, but. They've got now. I haven't seen it, but you can go to the major manufacturers' companies and get hook you up on the computer and have you hit balls for a couple hours, and they can tell you exactly. If you're cutting the ball, they can make the club so it's going to go straight, or you want to turn it over a little bit. That's the difference nowadays. So,
at what point though should we feel guilty that our low scores might be coming from the clubs, and at what point does the equipment take the skill out of the game? Well,
I'll give you a perfect example. Jimmy Michaels from Titleist came out to me last year, and he says, I want you to hit this hybrid, And I went, Jimmy, I said, you know what? They got so much stuff out here. I says, just hit the club, will you? And I went, okay. So it was a 3 hybrid, and I hit it, and I was like, holy man, let me hit one more. Well, I hit it so well, I said, listen, here's what I need. I got the driver in my bag. I got a 1, 2, 3, 4 hybrid, and I took all the woods out, and I took the 2, 3, and 4 iron out. I mean, it's the way they're making clubs now, it's almost using that club, a hybrid golf club, whether it's with Wilson or TaylorMade or any of the companies, it's like cheating. I mean, because most of the people can't hit the 2 and 3 iron; they never could. And the hybrid club it's a great golf club, and it does help people, to a point, where instead of using that 2 iron and knocking about 30 yards and topping it all the time, or 3 iron, this is more forgiving, and that's what they're doing. They're making the clubs that are more forgiving nowadays, and I have a problem personally. I think that I think they need to get the golf ball down. I think they're making. The guys are hitting the ball so far. It's just it boggles my mind. So that's what's happening nowadays.
Well, from what I'm hearing, and I mentioned this during the first segment when I had John Coghill from Silver Lake on, even though a lot of this technology is available, a lot of my sources that track golf equipment sales say things aren't exactly moving like they thought they would this year. They're really, if you've got a driver that's decent and it's 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 years old, you're not going to be able to buy any more yardage today. The golf ball is right where it was 5 years ago, and it's not going to move any more forward. And yes, it sounds like a great thing where you could customize your clubs and have different shafts and everything like that and plug them in and plug them out. But because of the economy, guys aren't buying into that stuff.
Well, it's just like, you're absolutely correct on it, and it's just like an automobile. I mean, you can go buy an automobile if you want to get this on it, you want to get that on it, you want to get this, that. Yeah, that's all extra. Some people are buying it, some people aren't. It's the same thing in the golf. I think that the golf, I don't get into the sales anymore like I used to, but the club prices are coming down compared to the way they were before, where it was $600-700 for a driver. Now it's coming down. Some of the companies, their prices are not like they used to be, but it just depends what the individual wants. There's people in the golf business, as you know, and the golfers that, hey, every year they're getting a set of clubs. But it's the economy the way it is now. I don't think you're going to be. I don't think they're selling like they used to.
Okay, I want to upgrade my equipment, but I also don't have the world's greatest golf swing, and so not only do I want to upgrade my equipment this year and get it custom fitted, but I also want to get a number of lessons from a quality teaching professional, not somebody that's a range rat that hangs around a driving range and for $10 will fix your slice. Someone that's qualified from the PGA of America, from the LPGA teaching, someone that at least have the expectation that they know a little bit about how to teach. Mm-hmm. Which one do I want to do first? Do I want to work on my swing with the old equipment, or do I want to buy new equipment, fit it to my swing, and then go out and maybe have somebody change my swing?
Well, it just to me, it's just what you prefer yourself. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that, hey, you get these clubs right here, and this is going to knock 10 strokes off your score. I don't believe that. So I would think that you would go out and take some lessons, and you need to get fitted up, from your golf professional. So it's not something where, hey, go buy a set of clubs and then go take some lessons. You might buy a set of clubs that, and I had a person a couple of weeks ago do the same thing to me. They came out and they said, I just bought all new clubs and all that stuff, and I gave him a lesson, and all of a sudden it was like, man, I tell you what, he's got a major problem because the clubs that he was using didn't fit him. And he kind of said to me, like, well, you're telling me this, and I said, well, wait a minute. He didn't kind of understand it, and I didn't want to just tell him, hey, you got the wrong set of clubs, but you have to work with the person, and people are you need to make sure, I believe, go to a PGA golf professional, let him take some lessons from him, and go from there. I mean, because most of the people don't really know what they want, and then you get the person that you tell them that, you know what, the way you're swinging at it, you need to get some regular shafts, and I don't think so. I swing pretty hard at it. I need that stiff shaft, and they get the vanity is not there. You know what I mean? So. Well,
doesn't the ball go farther with a stiff shaft, Emo?
Yes, it was, but it's not going to go farther. I don't believe.
No,
it
doesn't.
Go straighter. It's going to go straighter for you, but it's not going to go farther for you. You need the kick. You need that. That's why they have the different shafts. That's why they got the senior shafts. That's why they got the extra stiff shafts for the hard hitter. They got the stiff shaft. They got the regular shaft. So the stiff shaft's you'll hit the ball straighter, but you're going to lose a lot of distance if your swing speed is not fast enough. Period.
Our guest on this portion of the show is Emil Esposito, as it says on the ChicagolandGolf.com website. Golf professional, author of the video Making Golf Fun Not Work, and all-around good guy.
And we're all sold out on those videos already. So now I've got to go into getting the DVDs.
You're going to remint your video? Is that what you're going to do?
We're going to do it sometime, Phil. Definitely.
What are you waiting for?
That's a good question.
Yeah, ka-ching, looking for a little jing, huh?
That's it.
Okay, now, but here's the problem that I have seen and I hear some of you guys talking about. A guy goes out and gets himself, quote-unquote, fitted for a driver. The guy leaves his hands open at impact, so the driver is set up for a swing where the guy leaves his hands open at impact, and he slices the ball. He hits a banana ball. So he buys this driver, pays $300, $400, maybe $500 for it. Then he comes to you and says, all right, I want you to teach me a good golf swing. What do you do when the guy's got a driver that's not going to fit the swing you're going to give him?
Well,
isn't that interesting?
The first thing I would do, it's like, hey, I'm not going to take him and put him into a hook grip to make sure that you can't slice it. So you tell him that the club is not fit for him. Wherever you got it, you got to take it back.
Yeah, but isn't that a problem? Now you're fitting a guy's golf swing to the equipment that he just bought? I thought it should be the other way around.
No, I'm not telling you that. I work individually with the person. When I'm teaching any of my students, I work totally fundamentally. So it's just like years ago, people would say, well, you can't teach the same thing all the time. Well, I believe you can to a point. I don't believe in the theory that you can take a guy like myself and forget that I'm a golf professional and then put me next to Lee Trevino because I got this kind of the same build to say, okay, this is what you have to swing like this. You can't do that. You have to work with the individual. Fundamentally, when you're teaching, that's what you have to work with, the fundamentals of the golf swing. And that works, I work on the grip, the stance, the setup, and, a lot of people don't do all of that stuff. They work on a bunch of different things. So I'm not going to teach any person the swing to fit their golf club. I want the golf club to, I want the person's swing to be able to work fundamentally in the swing, and once that happens, then they can get the right setup as far as the golf club is concerned. So that's my theory in the swing. So I'm not, if I said to you and if I gave you a lesson and I gave you you were using stiff shafts, I would tell you, Phil, this is the point in your life that you need to get regular shafts because it's going to give you a little bit more kick to it. It's going to make you hit the ball further, and keep the ball in play. That's what I would tell my students. If he says, hey, Ian, I'm not good at get regular shafts, I say, okay, fine, stay with those clubs. But, you're not going to get the benefit out of better scoring, period. That's what I do.
Well, yeah, and it's like, it's about the same time frame where a guy's looking for Viagra, right?
I don't know about that.
So, now let me get this straight. When you set somebody up and someone comes to you and says, Emil Esposito, I would like to get a series of lessons.
Right.
I heard that you tell these guys, well, okay, but we have to get to know each other so we can have a good teacher-student relationship. You need to take me to dinner at Phil Stefani's. Is that true?
Only if it's on Wednesday nights. No. But,
what is
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, what is the biggest? You get a lot of public golfers. You also get guys from private clubs, but the average golfer that walks in, that's not a low single-digit handicap. What's the most common problem that you see?
The major problem that a lot of the golfers have that come out, they want to hit the ball 7 miles, and I work in my teachings. I work on strictly, as I said to you before, the left hand in the game of golf is the most important part of the golf swing. I would stand up to Ledbetter, Harmon, all of them, Hardy, I don't care who they are. The left hand in the game of golf, and I try to explain this to my students, that there's a certain part of your body has to control the club. There's another part of your body that has to create speed. The upper part of your body must control the golf club so that the ball's going down the middle as much as possible. Once you get that upper part swinging the club, then I work on the lower part. The fundamentals that I use, Bill, I work on the left hand controlling the club. I work on the left heel to create speed. I also, when I'm talking to my students, I explain to them, I said, now when you're going to watch television, you're going to see the majority of the young guys that are playing on the tour today keep their left heel flat. They work more on a shoulder turn. I don't really believe that you can really teach that to a point, because if you tried to get your student to try to turn those shoulders like the guys on the tour, you shouldn't get a partner that's in the back business, because you're going to have a lot of guys going to go see this doctor. So that's what I work on. But I also, I'll tell you how simple I make it. I believe that the golf swing, basically, it sounds silly what I'm telling you, but this is my theory. It's like an automobile. The steering wheel controls the car. Your accelerator is your power. If you go back to that theory, the left hand in the game of golf must become your steering wheel, and your left heel becomes your accelerator. Now, that's what I explain to my students. If you came to me the first time, I explained the whole thing. The next thing I look at, I'm going to watch your swing. I'm going to see if your upper part's controlling the club or your lower part's creating speed. So if you're hitting the ball and you're hitting it to the right, to the left, you're topping it up in the air, you got no left hand in the swing. So it's silly to start saying, okay, let's see how far we can hit the ball out of bounds. That's not going to happen. So I try to get my student at that time, I said, okay, we're going to work on the left hand, and I'm going to show you a few fundamentals, and that's what I work on. And I start that swing. Once I get that going with it, then I'll say, okay, now we're going to start getting the lower part of the body going so that we can create some speed. So that's what I teach. I don't vary it, but
Emil,
I also tell them, yeah.
I'm up against a hard break.
Okay, kid.
Save that thought, and then we'll come back to you. Our guest on this portion of the show, Emil Esposito, golf teaching professional, all-around good guy, 7-18 in Chicago. And let me give you this. Cedar Creek Landscape, your authorized Unilock contractor, is proud to bring back their Spring Brick Special. Book your job by May 31st and save 15%. Patios, driveways, sidewalks, they all look better in brick. Call Cedar Creek Landscape at 847-991-6300. That's 847-991-6300. We'll have more of Emil Esposito and more of the Chicagoland Golf Show. You're listening to CBS Radio in Chicago, The Score, Sports Radio 670. Yeah, we're having fun this morning. It's 7:26 on an April Saturday. It's kind of not the most beautiful day, but still golf weather. On the phone with us is an old friend, Emil Esposito, one of the top teaching pros in the Chicago area, and one of the easier guests on this show because all I got to do is I don't have to do any preparation when I have you on, Emil. All I do is push the button and let you go. All right,
Meanwhile, I was going to ask you. I never received that check.
Hello? You mean the Czechoslovakian guy that I sent over to see you? Is that yeah? Well, he must be at the Bohemian Restaurant.
Yeah, where we were before, I was telling you about the golf swing.
Sure.
Once I explain the situation, the left hand and the lower part, and then I will tell my student, listen, I'm going to nitpick a little bit, so when I see something wrong with it, I'm going to tell you. But the main thing I look for all the time, and I make sure that the student understands what I'm saying. The other day I had one of my lessons, and he understood it, and we started working, and he was blocking the ball to the right. Well, immediately I knew it. I knew that when he first started to swing, but after I explained everything to him, then I said, okay, now this is what we have to do with the left hand. It has to release itself, and the ball will start working itself back. And that's how you work it. Everybody is different, but fundamentally it's not different. Once they have the fundamentals, then you can nitpick with the swing a little bit. But if you take a person that is overswinging and all of a sudden you say, okay, we're going to shorten your swing, you can't do things like that, or try to compensate because if there's a slight if they're slicing the ball, you put them in a hook grip. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I enjoy teaching very much. I'll ask my student, anybody that comes, and what's your handicap? The guy says, well, I'm a 20. My mind automatically flips to an okay, I'm going to try to make him do a 15. And so I have a goal also when I'm teaching. So, and that's how you do your advertising. If I gave you lessons and you were a 90 shooter and you started shooting in the low 80s, the guys that you're playing with, they're going to say, hey, where'd you go? Go see Emil. And that's how I've always taught. But I also teach with the videotape. I think videotape lessons, if you're going to take lessons and you're looking for a golf professional, I think you need to look for a golf professional that videotapes the golf swing. It's so much easier. When you take a lesson with the videotape, it's like taking 3 without videotape. So that's how fast they can get it.
Have you ever had a student that is so bad
yes.
that you say, look, here's your money back, go play tiddlywinks or go play croquet because you're hopeless in golf?
You know what? I've had a couple in my life that it just never worked, and I never charged them, but I worked 2 or 3 lessons, and it was like, and I would have guys say, okay, we're going to send you my buddy and see what you can do with him, and I've had a couple of those in my life, but I've taught for a long time, but I've never ever told student, why don't you just quit? And I said, I would tell you got to work on what I'm telling you. I can't do it for you, and if they decide to keep working, you work with them. But I've had a couple that, and it's just like anything else. It's not going to work.
Well, I remember years ago I came to you and said, can you help me fix this terrible golf swing? And you said, I will on one condition, as long as you don't tell anybody I'm working with you.
Yeah, no. Hey, I got a first for you, pal.
Okay.
As long as we're talking about it. We're going to have that Bank America Open at the Glen Club, and it's the only PGA event this year in Chicago. So it's going to be May 29th through the 1st. And we've got a nice little program, too. We're going to have a exclusive preview event on Tuesday, May 20th, at the Glen Club, where people can come out and play the golf course the way the pros play. And if they want to, I'm going to give this a little. They can call the Pro Shop 847-832-6450 for more details on it. So it's a pretty nice event they're going to have.
Lesnick would be proud of you, Emil.
Well, listen, we always work. We always try to help one another out. So that's it.
Okay. Well, let me pay some bills here, and then we'll come back to you.
Okay, kid.
Our guest on this portion of the show is Emil Esposito, golf professional, author of the video "Making Golf Fun, Not Work," an all-around good guy. And this is the Chicagoland Golf Show. I'm Phil Kosin. You're listening to The Score, Sports Radio 670. Golfers, if you're looking for the place to spend your golf getaway, look no further than the crown jewel of Illinois golf, Eagle Ridge Resort and Spa in close by Galena, Illinois. Featuring 63 holes of golf and in with 80 rooms plus 300 private villas and homes. You'll get all the comforts of home plus top-notch golf right in your backyard. Eagle Ridge is also home to the famous General, ranked in the top 100 of America's best public courses by Golf Digest. Call Eagle Ridge today at 1-800-253-4802. That's 1-800-243-4802. Book your Eagle package today. Receive overnight accommodations, 2 rounds of golf with carts starting at $190. Hurry, the package is available only on a limited basis. That number again, 1-800-253-4802. With 63 holes of golf, top-notch accommodations, the Eagle Ridge Golf Academy with certified instructors, and a top 100 course in the General, Eagle Ridge is the perfect choice for your next outing. Don't wait. Book today, 1-800-243-4802, or visit eagleridge.com. And this portion of the show is being brought to you by Fox Lake Harbor. And our guest on this portion of the show, wrapping it up, is our old friend Emil Esposito, golf professional, and I guess now the video "Making Golf Fun, Not Work" will now soon be out in, is that in high definition?
It's going to be
DVD?
high definition, low definition. It's going to be any definition you want, pal. Yes.
Now, you still have a lot of hair in that one, don't you? I mean, when was that done?
That was done 1995, I believe.
When you were at that other place, right?
Yes, I was. Yeah, it's been. I've had a great career, man. I'm 70 years old, and I'm still going strong. And
you haven't worked a day in your life,
right? That's right.
That's right.
But I enjoy it. Met a lot of great people, and it's been a good. It's been good. It's been a great run.
Being a guy, boy, what are you saying goodbye to everybody?
No. It's just, hey, I'm getting my second wind.
Yeah. It's got to be very rewarding to get up and. Yes, of course it's work, but there's a lot of other ways to make a living that are a hell of a lot harder than giving people golf lessons, right?
I'll tell you what, it's been, like I said, it's great satisfaction. Not that I'm patting myself, but I had a guy the other day, he came out to the Glen Club for an outing last year, and so he called me up and he booked a lesson, and he said, I listened to you. That little clinic you gave, and he says, it really helped me on the golf course. And I said, great. So I gave him a lesson, but last week. And he called me up the next day, and he said, listen, I just want to let you know I never broke 90 in my life, and I shot 87, and I was really, he was like thrilled with that. So things like that, those stories like that really make you feel good, And I can tell, listen, if I'm giving someone a lesson, I watch them hit 2 swings, just take 2 hits. I know immediately what I'm going to work on. I know how bad they worked and they looked, and now as we're working, I can see the difference in the swing, and they can see the difference in the swing. So it makes them. It's great satisfaction for me, and I can't stay on the range like some guys from 7 o'clock in the morning till 4 at night. There's no way. So I give them so many lessons, and I'm done. And my situation is like 2 or 3 lessons in a row, and then I need to get away for 15, 20 minutes, going for a cup of coffee or whatever, and then come back. But I can't just stand at work and one right after another. I never could, and I never will. So.
Well, but you know what? And I'll give you a little compliment here, even though it kills me.
Thanks.
You've always done things on a personal level with your students,
right.
And some of these guys they're out there. And I'm not saying they don't get results, but they're more like robots.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Hey, listen, our business is a tough business. The golf professional business, I hate to tell you this, but it's nothing like it used to be. I mean, I'm from the old school. It's a customer service business, and now, the way everything is now, it's a lot of it's a bottom line. I mean, you can tell what's happening in our business for the golf professional. They're taking a lot of the shops away from the golf professional. I mean, if you'd have told me that the shop that Medina would not belong to the golf professional, I'd say, yeah, I think you're kidding. But that's the way it's going. It's our profession. That's why the National PGA is trying to get the golf professional to get more involved into becoming working himself into being a general manager. Working into that field, because if you go back and look at it, you've got the general manager, you've got the superintendent, you've got the golf professional. If they're going to let someone go, they're not going to let the general manager, the superintendent, go. So they're trying to get the younger guys to get. Once you become a PGA golf professional, go into learning the general managership, and that's the way it's going. So it's a different cat compared to what I grew up with. So.
Oh yeah, well that was the days of Tommy Armour, where he'd set himself up on the range with a little drinky pool under his umbrella.
The umbrella.
Yeah. Seriously though, with this economy now, obviously it's going to affect the golf business. It's already affecting the equipment business. It's going to have an effect. To what extent, we're not sure, on those that sell green fees and operate golf courses. How do you see what happens during a recession, during a time like this, to golf professionals whose a lot of their income depends on lessons?
Well, the only thing I can tell you, I mean, I don't have the answer to that to a point, but the only thing I can tell you is that you better work very hard with your student to make them play better so that he can do some advertising for you. And you're going to get so many people, Phil. I mean, I don't know with the economy, it's going to be interesting. The gas is going to $4 or $5 a gallon, so it's going to be interesting. I don't think people are going to be, going on trips, so they might be playing a little bit more golf. I have no idea, but it's going to be interesting. I think you're going to get the golfer that wants to take a lesson, he's going to take a golf lesson. And, it's great satisfaction for him. And you never know. The golf business, I mean, I don't know this. I don't think anybody can say what the economy, how it's going to affect the golf business. It might not affect it at all, because if people are having a problem with certain things, they might play golf just to get their mind off of things. Who knows? I mean, and it might affect the golf business. So it's going to be interesting. So if you got a customer, you better take care of that person as 110%, so that he doesn't go anywhere else. And that's the way I work. I've always done that. I was brought up that way, and I still do it that way. So I think customer service, treating that customer like you want to be treated, that's the key. That's the key.
Well, I think one of the funniest things, in light of everything that's going on with the economy, we have golf courses, not only here in Chicago, but nationally. We got people cutting back on play. We've got golf courses that are closing, and yet last week in Washington, you had the people from the USGA and the PGA of America and a few others from the national organizations get together for a big hug fest to pat each other on the back over how good golf is going. Now, what's wrong with that picture?
Again, it's all what you want to make of it. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't get into numbers and stuff like that, so I can't. Maybe they're kidding themselves. I have no idea, but it's going to be very interesting. I thought the same thing. I said, with the recession and things, the way things are going, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. So I don't know. I can't. Right. I don't have an answer to it, to be honest with you. But we'll wait and find out. Maybe at the fall we'll be talking about how good everything was or how bad everything was. So
yeah,
just make sure that. Go ahead.
If some guy gets up this morning and he's listening to this and in a complete fit of insanity goes, you know what, I'm going to call Emil Esposito and get a lesson, how do they get a hold of you?
Call me at 847-764-4653. It's 764-GOLF. And
you guarantee that even if you don't improve their golf swing, they'll have a good time?
There's no possible way that you will get worse. You will definitely get better, or you get your money back. How's that?
There's a guarantee,
there you
folks.
Go.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Emil, thank you. We'll do it again.
Well, it's a pleasure, Phil. Good luck with this year.
All right, buddy.
All right, bye-bye.
Take care. That's golf professional Emil Esposito. He works out of the Glen Club these days, and just not only a really good guy, but as you can probably tell from the last 45 minutes, he does a great job of relating to his students. And if you can't connect with the person that's trying to help you with your game, it's a problem. Okay, we'll take a break. This is the Chicagoland Golf Show. I'm Phil Kosin, and you're listening to CBS Radio in Chicago, The Score, Sports Radio 670. This segment of the Chicagoland Golf Show is brought to you by Big Run Golf Club in Lockport. Call them today, 815-838-1057, or go online at bigrungolf.com. Great course. A lot of fun to play. One of the few courses in the close-by Chicago area that has some pretty awesome elevation changes. But they're in that area up there on the hill, Lockport, Lamont, that the glaciers, I guess, missed. And a great site for golf course, and the reason courses were built up there was because they didn't have to move a lot of dirt, because they didn't have that kind of equipment back in the 1920s. I want to thank my guests for today. Emil Esposito, one of the all-time great teaching pros and good buddy in Chicago. Ryan Cannon, the championship director for the PGA Championship this August at Oakland Hills, and another old friend who is wizened in the golf business. His family has operated Silver Lake Country Club since 1939, and his family had Cog Hill for about 15 years before that, John Coghill. Thanks to all of them. Next week on the show, we're looking forward to having Todd Sones as one of our guests. Todd is a top 50 instructor, and also of late, the last couple of years, he's got his own putter company called Couture. And so we'll talk to him about that. Don't forget the mid-April issue of Chicagoland Golf with Trev Immelman on the front cover is available on golf courses all over Chicagoland. And in this issue, if for no other reason, pick it up because the great Chicagoland Golf Test number 2 is inside this issue. And you can only get that in the print issues, the print editions of Chicagoland Golf. It will not be available at ChicagolandGolf.com. Let's see. Podcasts are available on the Score website, 670thescore.com. And let's see, what else? Anyway, I think we had a pretty good discussion today, and I don't want to be maudlin. I don't want to be gloomy. But, golf courses and golf course owners, they're going to be in for for a real interesting year. And what I would say to all of you is, yes, you're going to find some real deals in green fees this year at golf courses. On the other hand, in exchange for that, I think we should also accept what John alluded to, is a slightly lower expectation of top conditioning. Yes, the greens will be fine, but if they're going to reduce the rates and they're going to cut their revenue, if you have any idea how a business works, then they're going to have to make some cuts. And in some of those areas, it's going to be a little bit maintenance. And so to get us all through this year, I think our expectations, there is no way, and you're a moron, if you expect to go out and pay $25 for 18 holes, a cart, a hot dog, and a drink at the turn, and play a golf course that's in the same condition as Augusta National. It's just not going to happen. You know, it's funny that the Masters have got that Growing Golf Global, whatever it is, on their website, where they want you to come on there and give them, the members at Augusta National, your ideas for improving the game of golf, for moving it forward. The first thing they could do is set an example and speed up the play at their golf course during the Masters, where it's ludicrous that they have a time limit, a target time anyway, for players for threesomes for 4 hours and 45 minutes, and they're finishing 5:17, 5:37. That's ridiculous, And I think the Augusta National, congratulations to them on the excellent conditions, because they have a bottomless checkbook over there. But I also think that what they've done with that golf course has raised unrealistic expectations in golfers as to what their own course or the course that they're playing should look like. And so, a little bit of brown is beautiful. And so if you're going to go out and expect to have a little discount, have them knock a little something off the green fee this year, it wouldn't be a bad idea to accept a little brown in spots, maybe some fairways that are a little firmer, get a little extra rollout, etc., etc., etc. Again, thanks to my guests. Thanks to Nick Shipkowski, who stood in for Dave White, our producer this week, who went to Disney World. But he'll be back next week, so will I. Until next time, this is Phil Kosin saying, keep it in the short stuff, everyone. This has been a Pull My Finger production.